There she is. Yay.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, just your warning right now, we're going live on Facebook, on Poway Interfaith Team Facebook.
Okay, should we mute?
Well, I'm just letting everyone know that your face and everything else will be showing. And so we're recording now, we're fine.
Okay.
And we're now live streaming on Facebook. We can still chat. I'm just letting people know that the chat is public. And so your name, if you want to change your name, if you're witness protection program or whatever, I don't know. I always try to give people a warning when you're going out beyond this Zoom room, because I think that's fair to do. And I know it's just 3 o'clock now, but I think we should give people at least 2 more minutes. We good with that?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
People are still coming on, I can see.
Exactly, yeah. We can tithe our time, get 3 more minutes. If it's 3 o'clock, I know that's not real tithe, that's not how it works.
It's the tithe of time.
I know.
Up to you.
Did you put mine in the freezer?
I did.
Did? I'll use this.
So I am just letting everyone know again, we are live streaming, so we're on the, so this will be, we are recording this. I'll say this again in another minute. And, you know, but we are recording this and it'll be on the Point Interfaith Team YouTube channel. It'll be on the Point Interfaith Team webpage. And it'll be on the Point or Poway Interfaith Team Facebook page, live streaming forever. You know, it'll be available. So just want to let people know that it'll be, if you already get the newsletter for Poway Interfaith Team, you'll have a link there. Or you can just subscribe to the Point Interfaith Team YouTube channel and you can watch whatever we put up there. The opening ceremonies up there, some of the events. Once I get if I get the recordings to all the events will be up there, but I need to get that. Somehow I've turned into Point Tech person, which is not my niche, but
More
She's
than
good at
mine.
it. She's good at it.
but in these strange times, as pastoral congregation, that 65% of them are over 65 and have less technical skills than me. I've learned a lot in the last 6 months or so. So we just go with it, right? And it's good to be able to pivot and do that. Well, it's 3:03, so I'll do an official hello. I am Reverend Sherry Mateer, and I serve as Point president right now. I am also the co-founder and executive director of Interfaith Work for Justice of San Diego County, and pastor of First Congregational Church of Paris, United Church of Christ, and a few other things, but that's enough for now. And as you all heard, I'm also playing the tech person. So I'm the one that's now going to tell you. I do ask everyone for the next several minutes to mute yourself. You can leave your video on if you wish, but if you're doing something that might be distracting or you have to get up and get something or whatever, go ahead and shut your video off so that while other people are talking, or there will be a section that we are sharing a video, that it's not distracting. But don't go too far away and don't get too comfy where you don't want to be on video again, because the main part of today that you'll hear about in a moment is us talking together. So I give both those things. So I know when my brother Yusuf was saying, so are we going to can we have our videos off? Don't get too comfortable. So that's what I'm saying. And so again, it's if everyone would just mute themselves now. If you have, your video can stay on as long as you're able just to be watching and you're not distracted. If you don't want to worry about it, get your video off. If I have another screen going, that's why you see a test with the sharing material too, so that if I need to mute you, I will if someone else is talking. I'm sorry. Take my apologies. Don't take it personally. It's just for the session, all right, for right now. But I want to welcome you, and it's exciting, Interfaith Awareness Week. I know my friend and colleague, Reverend Dr. Steve Albert, will be sharing more about that, but I just wanted a chance to say hello to each one of you, and I'm excited about our little teaser that'll be coming up in a moment. I'm just going to tease you about the teaser. I don't want to take anyone else's steam. So welcome, and let's meet. Let's go. Steve.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This final event for Interfaith Awareness Week is being televised everywhere in the world because it's being videoed, and we have people coming in from who knows where, and they're all involved in interfaith. The idea is to understand that we are not alone when we're going through hard times, and that there are many, many people who care about people who are not exactly like them. And they accept people no matter what the color of their skin, no matter what religion they believe, no matter what sex they follow. It doesn't matter. Everyone is equal. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Reverend Dr. Stephen Albert. I am the past president of the Poway Interfaith team. I'm also the director of the World Interfaith Network. And I'd like to give you just a couple minutes of history, and then I'm going to turn it over to a very special friend and guest of ours. Abigail and I were two of the founders of the Poway Interfaith team in 2006. And slowly we began to learn about more and more organizations around the United States that were doing interfaith. And we got so excited when we found out about the North American Interfaith Network. And it was a group that comprised of interfaith people from around North America. And every year they held a Connect conference, and people came from all over. So we drove up to San Francisco, where it was in 2008, and we met this wonderful lady named Ruth, who I'll introduce in a minute. And we met so many people. We got excited about interfaith. It's like we weren't the only ones doing this. And slowly we got more and more involved. And every year there was another North American Connect conference. And every year we would see Ruth, and she would tell us about various things that she was doing. And she explained to us, I think it was in Mexico, in Guadalajara, that she was putting together a incredible musical that was headed for Broadway. Broadway, yes, absolutely. So we listened, and we listened to her sing, and we listened to her ideas. And every year since that time, we've just been enamored by what Ruth has done and what the people around her have done. In 2017, we decided in San Diego, the Poway Interfaith team, to host the Connect conference. And everybody came, and one of the events on the last day included Ruth and was orchestrated by Cantor Laurie Frank, who was here also. And you'll see the video, and I know you'll enjoy it. We decided as the Poway Interfaith team, we're going to bring Ruth to the 2020 conference, World Interfaith Week. And then came COVID-19. And all of our plans to bring Ruth and her gang to exactly this day at this time. I would be introducing her just the way I am, maybe with a little more formality. But we know that we still want to have her group present and perform for us, and we still have the money that we set aside to bring Ruth and the group from Los Angeles to San Diego for this event will happen next year. And so we promise you'll hear much, much more about her. I'm going to turn it over to Ruth Broyde Sharone, who is our friend and confidant and just a wonderfully, wonderfully professional person. Ruth?
Hello, good afternoon, and greetings of peace. to Abigail and Stephen and Sherry, thank you so much for this opportunity. As Steve said, I would be there in person with 8 performers and 5 dancers if it weren't for Corona. And a good friend of mine, Vivica Davis, said that we should stop calling this the coronavirus. We should call this the Corazona virus, the virus of the heart, because we've all had a chance to think about who is precious to us in our lives. A forced quarantine, but maybe a really needed one, a great sabbatical for the earth and for us and our families, and to remember what's important, and to really, as I have on my answering machine, to know just how interconnected we are. So I'm going to just tell you very briefly that this musical came after almost 30 years of interfaith engagement and of serving as co-chair of the Southern California Parliament of the World's Religions, and working together with many organizations, with people all over the world, and primarily as a filmmaker and as a journalist. And it was probably as great a surprise to me as to all my friends when these songs started tumbling out on my daily walks, and I couldn't really account for them, and I didn't understand why and wherefore until my friend Yuval Ron, who's a composer, musician, heard the songs, and he said to me, "You realize you have a musical there?" And I thought, I guess I do. And all the songs had to do with interfaith engagement. Some of them were very funny, as my friends agreed, that made them laugh, the lyrics made them laugh, and some were very poignant because they pointed out to the challenges and the great efforts we have to be able to understand a new world where things aren't going the way we thought they would. Children are following paths much different than their parents. And we ourselves, sometimes, as one of the songs, I'm a Buju, people have come up to me afterwards hearing the song, and they said, "Oh, I'm so grateful because I actually follow 2 different religious paths and they don't really make sense to anybody else, but they make sense to me, and now I feel okay with that." So last May, we had a public performance of 8 of the songs. We had an amazing turnout, and the response and the encouragement and enthusiasm was really so exciting and electric. And people have been saying to me along the way, "I can see this on Broadway." We know Broadway's dark, and the people on Broadway don't even know when they'll be back. So what's important, though, is to keep the spirit of the musical alive. And for that purpose, I'm about to release in the next few months album number 2 from the musical. And I've also, in the evolution of this process of creating something which is relevant and timely and expressive of what we are and who we are, I decided to change the name of the musical. And now it is, This Is Who We Are, the Interfaith Musical. And it's not just about the interfaith aspect of us, although it really emphasizes that. It's also about who we are as humanity. And so many changes have happened in our society, so many shocking things for many people as identification of gender shifts, and people are forming new alliances with new communities, and we're all still trying to make sense of this as it happens. But we are all part of humanity. And so before we introduce the video, in which Lori Frank and her wonderful choir performed in San Diego, I thought I would just share with you 2 verses from one of the new songs. And it has, the name of the song is This Is Who We Are. This is who we are and who we're meant to be. Just take a look at us, what a grand humanity. We have made mistakes, imperfect as we are, but we have what it takes. Oh my, we've come so far, made from dust of stars and showered by cosmic love. We stumble and we fall, but we're guided from above. We're here to heal our wounds and treat the earth with care. This is who we are. This is who we are. And we are everywhere. This is who we are, the Interfaith Musical. Thank you so much for inviting me. I look forward to celebrating many, many Interfaith Awareness Weeks with you. Congratulations to all the producers and the participants of this week. And as I say, be interfaithful and multiply. Thank you so much. And here is the video. The most popular poet today in America is Rumi, a Muslim, a Sufi, and someone who has touched the innermost parts of our hearts. And as interfaith workers, among the many thousands of beautiful words that he wrote that we could all use in the work we're doing, there's one particular sentence that has struck us and that interfaith people have used over and over again. And if you know it, join me in saying it. Beyond all ideas of right doing and wrongdoing, there is a field. I'll meet you there.
There's a field out there beyond all right and wrong. There's a field out there of peace for which we long. There's a field out there where you and I belong. Come, oh come, meet me there. There's a field out there beyond our history. There's a field out there beyond our memory. There's a field out there we'll know we couldn't see. Come, oh come, meet me there. Come, come, don't delay. This is the promise of a new day. Come right this way. The promise of a brand new day. There's a field out there where beliefs do not divide. There's a field out there where we can view all sides. There's a field out there where love's our only guide. Come, oh come, meet me there. There's a field out there where east does meet with west. There's a field out there to welcome every guest. There's a field out there where we are at our best. Come, oh come, meet me there. Come, come, don't delay. This is the promise of a new day. Come right this way. The promise of a brand new day. The promise of a brand new day.
Yes. You know, every time I hear that, I'm sorry I well up. It's your fault, Ruth. And with Cantor Lori singing, I don't have a chance. One of the beautiful things that happened at this conference in 2017 is that all the mayors of the San Diego region approved this as Interfaith Awareness Week. And they agreed to treat everyone as equal. And at the end of this conference, day after this event that you just witnessed, I sent an email to the governor of California, and I said, you know, everything's been approved down here in San Diego. Can we have the state of California approve Interfaith Awareness Week as a yearly celebration? Got an email back about a week later that said, sure. And it was beautiful because it was voted on by the California State Assembly. The following year, people found out about us. And some of the programs that are happening around the world contacted us and said, can we possibly be part of your program? And the beauty is that now everything is being celebrated in over 100 countries. As we speak now, there is a bill being created by Congressman Peters here in San Diego to make Interfaith Awareness Week a national celebration every year throughout America. And with all this happening, we have not lost track of the fact that everyone is available to do even more. It's been absolutely beautiful that people have stepped up and said, you know, I came to your conference, or I heard what you were doing, or these are really good programs. And for that, I'd like to address all of you who are here today, because this is going to be from now on me shutting up and you meeting each other. It's an informal get together, an informal knowing that people have come from different areas. And I know, what do we have? We've got 31 people so far. Before we do that, can I ask Cantor?
Thank you, everyone. It was an honor to bring such beautiful music to San Diego.
Well, your choir was, talk about professional. That's what we like, you know. I'm wondering, I saw a few names that I know who are from different parts of the country. And what I'd like to do is kind of open it up now and find out who came the farthest. Where are you from? And what did you experience this past week, or maybe even this past month, with regard to interfaith activity? So if you're interested in saying, hi, I'm from wherever, and I'm enjoying what you're doing, or I'd like to see you do more work in such and such, whatever it might be, we'd like to hear from you, and just shake your hand. Sheila? You have to unmute yourself.
I know. I was just waving from Boston.
Boston.
Yay.
What's happening in Boston?
Well, I'm not doing anything interfaith, so I was like, we're moving, I guess, you know, the whole virus, trying to decide if schools will open, but not about you know, this topic. interfaith and whatever.
Well, it seems like you got here. How did you find out about it?
Oh, I'm friends of I'm really, I don't like talking in front of a lot of people.
Exactly.
No, nobody's
we're
here.
all friends.
I'm Leah's friend, Sister
Wonderful.
Leah. So, yeah.
Well, welcome from Boston. We hope you'll be involved with us even more than today.
Yeah, will do.
Thank you.
Bye.
Who else came a distance?
Distance.
Omar?
Well, not much of a distance. I'm in Los Angeles, in the Valley. But
How was traffic coming down?
well, no, I'm on the Zoom, so
Oh,
from the comfort of my home. But I just want to say something. I've been working with Ruth for a long, long time. She invited me to the Parliament of World Religions. I have of course worked with her, but I've talked to her about it. I've talked to several other people about it. I feel good about Interfaith. We have had meetings. It's just that when we get together, we feel good. We're all good people. We love each other, regardless of faith, skin color, like you said, all that kind of stuff. But it really doesn't solve the problem, because the problem of the world is really not religion. It's something else. So right now, what's going on with me, for the past about 2 years now, I have been very actively working on this. And again, it's not even political. It's a terrible thing that I'm from the subcontinent which consists of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, all that. That is the largest Muslim land in the whole world. And the tremendous program that has been started by this new government, I know you don't know much of it, but it's a tremendous amount of thing going on socially and all that. And I have been fighting and trying to reach as many liberal people as I can to make sure that this tremendous transformation that has happened in India, and I have compared it with the 1940s Nazi, where a political leader comes in, becomes popular, and then it spreads hatred against a minority community, and the whole society and the institutions join in. And this has gone on. There have been genocides. There have been, even this year when President Trump visited there, in his presence in Delhi, there was murders and massacres there. So I just want to let you know, please be aware of what's going on in India. And I have been arguing that this is probably a permanent change, because the society has been transformed. There are 24-hour news channels that constantly bombard hatred. And it's in a really bad shape. And remember, I just want to leave you with one thought. Just a quick question. What is the largest Muslim country in the world? Anybody? Today, what is the largest Muslim country in the world?
Indonesia.
Well, Indonesia is going to be surpassed by India in 2050. So India is going to become the largest Muslim country in the world. It will have 22% of the 1.3 billion people. And they have been reduced to the level of the Dalit, if you know the caste system. And it's terrible. I don't want to go about it. I don't want to make it political. You can on your own, study it on your own and find out about it. And please raise your voice. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Omar. I see another friendly face, Manik. You want to tell us who you are and where you're from and how you got here? You're muted.
Let me see if I can. No.
Maybe his mic isn't working.
You want to try it again talking?
And Manik wrote some interesting thing, good information in the chat. I'm sorry we can't hear you.
All right, Steve, I think it's really important, though, to let people know that Manik is the head of the Zoroastrian community
Right.
in Southern California, and a very active interfaith member.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm from India originally. I came to America in 1965 as a graduate student in engineering at the University of New Mexico. And my plan was to go back, but because the job situation wasn't good, so I kind of continued to stay and finally decided to become a citizen, And of course, I've been mostly working in California, except for a brief couple of years in Austin, Texas, as a liaison and I was a co-founder of two Zoroastrian associations, one in Northern California and one in Southern California. And I continue to be active, in those associations. And in my retirement, I serve as a priest, on-call priest, and also in many interfaith organizations. So I was just listening to Omar's comment, about the genocide of Muslims in India. It's totally untrue, okay? There have been incidents, there are some small groups, just like we have some racist groups, in America, okay? And there are incidents from them, but as a whole, India, the Hindus are much more tolerant, than any other, group you can think of, okay? The majority of Hindus are very tolerant. They believe in respect for all religions, okay? So I think this is a wrong propaganda otherwise, why would Muslims, refugees come from Pakistan and Afghanistan and they come to India? Why would they come to India to become a resident over there? Why is India the second largest Muslim population? Why do they prefer to stay in India and not go to Pakistan or Middle East or Afghanistan? So I think that you should not really seriously take the statements that I heard from Omar.
Oh, thank you, Manik.
Sure.
Ruth Mary, I hope that you can unmute because I know you're from the East Coast also.
Hello.
Where are you from, Ruth Mary?
Yogaville. And,
Yogaville. Where is Yogaville?
Central Virginia. We're about 44 miles from University of Virginia in Charlottesville. And unfortunately, the ashram has had to close because of the pandemic. And we've had to cancel all of our programs except for the ones we can do online. So it's been a very quiet campus. We usually have 10,000 visitors a year from all different faiths, all different teaching traditions, all different singing and chanting and kirtan traditions. And it's just been painfully quiet. So we hope next year we'll be able to reopen and welcome guests again.
Well, we're glad to have you with us. Can you tell everyone what happened at the 2017 conference?
In San Diego?
Yeah.
You mean how wonderful it was?
Who was it?
Compliments. What do you?
Who was it that fell down the steps and got hurt? And
oh, you mean at the Parliament of the World's Religions?
no,
Yeah.
It was in San Diego.
Oh, I'm not sure I know about that.
Okay.
But I was at both the parliaments, and I don't know, has anyone heard anything about a future parliament? And I hope we can meet in South Bend next year. I would love to see everybody, but we don't know yet, right?
Well, Ruth, do you know anything about the parliament for future events?
Yeah,
I have heard nothing.
if you're speaking, I don't know about the Parliament, but if you're speaking about NAME, the North American Interfaith Network, we are going to be having an online contact conference, and hopefully it's going to be hosted by South Bend, and they were originally planning to have it in person, and we're hoping that next year they will have one in person. But in the meantime, we didn't want to lose momentum, especially right now. It seems to be a very fertile time for interfaith on Zoom. And the wonderful thing about interfaith that it can be done anywhere. It can even be done in your dreams, if you're serious about this. And so I haven't heard anything from the Parliament yet, but there are other interfaith conferences that are being held, including one called Building the New World, which is going to be in September from the Oracle Institute, from the Laura George, who founded the Peace Pentagon in Virginia. And I know that Mary, Ruth, you must know about that too.
Yes, we've been to the Oracle Institute, yes.
Right, so I think that we are not going to have a paucity of interfaith opportunities online. And I think that we are, what it feels like we're doing, Steve and Abigail and Sherry, is that we're solidifying our friendships and our collaborations. And I did want to point something out really important that happened only in the last few years, that the three major interfaith organizations, the Religions for Peace, the United Religions Initiative, URI it's called, and the Parliament of the World's Religions, are now supporting each other to the extent that each organization has invited someone from the sister organization to actually be on their board. And in the past, there wasn't, I don't want to call it a rivalry, but there was a kind of sense of competition among the three major organizations. And that period is over. And now we have holy collaboration. And I see that happening more and more organizations are teaming up, interfaith organizations, with sometimes secular organizations or ecologically based organizations. So the theme of this next, I think, century is going to be collaboration. And politics is going to come up because we can't avoid that. I mean, I was just listening, these are two of my friends who were just talking, and I was thinking that we can't get away from those kind of comments and conflicts, but in the interfaith community, we have learned how to speak, how to dialogue when there is conflict. And that's something the interfaith community can be teaching other organizations and other members of society, because we know we've learned the ground rules and we know the guidelines for how this is possible. So conflict is inevitable, but violence isn't. We know a lot about that. And so we hope that we'll find ways, just as Steve and Abigail and Sherry have gone to enormous lengths to get the local government and the state government and hopefully the entire US government to adopt Interfaith Awareness Week, that when that happens, just like Martin Luther King Day or any other day that we've made important and reverential for everybody, that it's going to be such a common theme that people will not say inter who when we say interfaith. They'll all know what we're talking about.
Yeah. You know,
and I just wanted to show this beautiful interfaith mandala that is the Yogaville meditation focus.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mary.
Yes, and do you know if the South Bend thing will be on the Notre Dame campus?
It's going to, not this year. We hope it'll be next year, but in the meantime, they are hosting the Zoom Contact conference. And what I think I'll do, Steve, is I'll send you, the flyer came out recently. If you could post that and send it to all the participants, then we can share it and get more people to attend.
That's wonderful. You know, one of the things that I have to point out is, and one of the reasons that I'm calling on a few people to say, where have you come from, is that sometimes when you know that an event is happening in your city, but it's in a little bit farther away than you would want to drive. So as good as the program might be, you tend not to go. And this has happened in the San Diego area. We've had people in the South County say, oh, I don't want to go all the way up to the North County because traffic and this and that, and so they don't go. Now, with the fact that we can tie into all of these programs online, people are coming from all over the country, perhaps other parts of the world, to be involved in interfaith programs as well as other organizations. So I wanted to point that out, that we're, as much as we don't want COVID-19 to hang around, and we pray that it does not affect anybody else in the negative, it has actually given us a vehicle to come together and meet each other and perhaps dialogue in ways that are going to be positive for everyone.
Yeah, the reason I asked about the campus is because my cousin has offered a house near the Notre Dame campus, which might be easier for the elders in our Yogaville community. So I just didn't know which college campus they were thinking of having it at.
It's Ruth Mary, if plans continue for a year from now, it is near Notre Dame on, I want to say it's St. Mary's. Is that like a part of Notre Dame? Yeah.
Right.
So if that helps.
It's going to be in conjunction with St. Mary's and Notre Dame. They're doing
exactly
an effort there too.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yes.
Because one of our swamis is elderly and she's got some mobility issues. So having our own house is probably going to be easier for her.
So
that would be great. And I did put the dates up for the NAME Digital Connect. It's September 9th and 10th, starting at 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. It's only about 2.5 hours each day. So you want to get it on your calendars.
Great.
Yes,
anyone else? Has anyone else traveled? Carol, unmute yourself.
Hello, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here today. I'm here because I am in my heart and with the way I conduct my life and my friends do, an interfaith person, but I've been brought into the Parliament of World Religions and Interfaith, this movement, by Ruth Broyde Sharone, and I follow her everywhere I can hear her, and I was so happy to hear her song today and see the video. And so I'm from Pasadena, California, so I'm not far away, and I've seen you before, and am just very pleased. And the Interfaith musical and the Parliament of World Religions and the Interfaith movement is very important when you think that just such a short number of years ago, Ruth Broyde Sharone wrote, "May God and Allah speak." And it seemed that seemed amazing then. It still is amazing because we have to remember to understand each other all the time. However, there is a great deal of understanding and interest amongst our different religions and different ways that we express and study our faith in our lives. So much has been done and has to continue to be done. That I think another wonderful thing about your interfaith movement, which I would say is mine too, although I'm not a member of yours, but I always love to hear it, is that there is an attack on religion and culture and today. And so therefore, for that reason too, it's so all the more important to hear what you're talking about today and to hear Ruth's Interfaith, the musical, played everywhere it can possibly be recited, sung, performed, because it is an emphasis on the importance, not just of understanding one faith to another, but the importance of belief and faith. And that is what we found our lives on. And so it's just all the more important than ever. So I'm pleased to be here, and thank you for letting me say that.
Thank you, Carol.
I would like to add something about Carol. Carol Sousa King has been the founder and visionary behind a salon for cultural creative people in Pasadena, which she has had at her house once a month for the last 26 years, right, Carol?
Right, 24 and a half, right.
Okay,
Thank you, Ruth.
24. And each time she invites people from all different disciplines to come and share their wisdom and experience. Music is always included, and it's a model of bringing people, diverse people together in the interest. And once she even had someone talking about the establishment of libraries in America, which seems like an esoteric topic until you actually hear about it and realize how pertinent it is to our lives today. So
Yeah.
I just want to salute Carol.
Oh, thank you so much. So thank you so much, Ruth. Yes, we even have atheists even come if just as long as one is striving to be uplifted and positive, is striving for that, to share the truth within each of us. So yeah, so that's important. It's been very nice. Thank you.
So here's
Thank
an
you, Ruth.
interfaith anecdote about an atheist. So when I performed some of the songs at Carol's salon, and one of the people was present who was an atheist, stood up and he said, well, everything you're singing about is about faith. You don't have anything about atheists. And I said, well, just a moment.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
right.
I sang him the song about blasphemy. There is something to be said for blasphemy. And if you are so inclined, just follow me. When sacred cows are skewered, then we'll all be free. Oh, there is something to be said for blasphemy. And he sat down very quietly.
Wow, that's so wonderful.
Because everybody, we have to make room at the table, right? For everybody.
Right.
Right.
Right. Oh, it's wonderful.
Who else? Andrea? Unmute yourself.
Okay. Yes?
Yeah.
We've come all the way from Encino, California.
Yeah.
Because we are friends and supporters and fans of Ruth. And it was a great opportunity to hear this song and to hope that this becomes universally known soon.
Yeah.
And we just want you to know how much we support it and your group.
Well, we appreciate you coming all the way from Encino.
Yeah, it was quite a
The
drive.
Valley. Yeah. Well, and we hope, like I said, it is our hope and prayer here in San Diego to bring at least a showcase of the music and the songs that are, who knows? I mean, the creativity is sprung, next year. In fact, as we were meeting, my calendar invite came, okay, it's time for Interfaith the Musical. So this is when we would be, at least I would be somewhere, but so I hope everyone can do that. And, it's a good thing, creativity is abounding. And as Ruth said too, creation is springing back. So we have lots of good things to be grateful for.
Who else do we have here from, and you can even, if you're local, that's okay too.
Yeah. Well, our LA County folks don't know who San Diego County is. So.
This is Trav Williams. I'm from Carmel, California. So not that far away, but not that close.
That's right. Beautiful. It's
Carmel's
part of my
beautiful.
coastal California coast stops always is Carmel.
Do you have an interfaith group in Carmel?
Yes, Interfaith Outreach of Carmel is one that I'm a part of. We have a benefit shop that raises money to address issues of homelessness up here. And we also have the Community of Interfaith Colleagues, which is for the whole area around Monterey. So 2 interfaith groups that I know of.
Wonderful. Were there any events this past week?
Well, I host in fact, you included this in the most recent email you sent out, an interfaith devotional program on Thursday evenings. It's called Soul Food.
Yes.
Yes, so that's the only thing I know of that's happened up here in the past week. But that's on Zoom also.
That's great. That's wonderful. Thank you, Trav. Anyone else? Where are you from? How are you involved with Interfaith?
And Trav brought up an important thing, Steve, and all, is that because of the pandemic, we're doing things like this. So we don't have to drive. We don't have to plan that time. And we can join Carmel. We can join, our East Coast friends and, in this platform. So there are, we don't have to be socially distant, just physically distant.
Yeah. Vanessa, can you unmute and say hi?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Hi.
Nice to see some familiar faces.
Tell everybody where you're from and what you do.
So I live in North San Diego County, and I've been involved in Interfaith for many decades. I was teaching world religions, and I'm an intercultural trainer. And yeah, hello, everyone.
We used to teach together at University of Phoenix.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Come back again. Anybody else would like to just say hi?
I'd like to say hello. I'm Reverend Doris Davis from the Culver City area.
Culver City, wow.
I'm sorry that I had to come late, but I had 6 meetings today.
Oh. And the traffic was murder.
And the traffic was awful.
Yeah.
Ruth is my neighbor here in Culver City. We live a couple blocks away. I've lived through her musical with her from the very beginning when she started getting the downloads for the songs. As a matter of fact, I believe I am the independent, transcendent, First Amendment, freelance mystic. Am I not, Ruth? Or the model for it. Now, I'm a little confused as to what this group is, because this is not International World Harmony, World Interfaith Harmony Week, is it?
No, this is the event that happened 6 months after that.
Okay.
Okay, Interfaith Harmony Week has been around for about 14 years, and we decided that interfaith was too important to only have one holiday a year. And so we went 6 months later, turned out to be the second week in August, and when we put on our Name Connect conference in San Diego, we got all of the city and people involved to dedicate it to Interfaith Awareness Week. And now we've been doing this. This is our 4th anniversary.
I see. Well, congratulations, and thanks for doing this. I have been involved with Interfaith since about 1998 in Culver City. We had the Culver City Area Interfaith Alliance, and then, of course, I've been to many parliaments and Southern California Committee for the Parliament and other interfaith groups in and around my town here, Culver City. So it's grown. I remember when interfaith was just whispered as a mystery. And now it's a household word, really. Every hamlet has every small community has an interfaith group, and that's wonderful. That's just wonderful. I'm so glad that it's growing and proliferating, and that we can all meet this way. And thank you very much for hosting, Ruth, and hosting this. And
well, Doris, you know that in all the hamlets, they're all saying to interfaith or not to interfaith. That is the question.
That is. Absolutely. Thank you.
Why would you not interfaith?
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? We joined URI a couple of years ago, and at that point we had 237 different interfaith groups around the world that we knew of. We started with California, and in California alone, there were 62 interfaith groups. And at the time we began the World Interfaith Network, searching out around the United States, we could only find 61 outside of California. So California is this huge abundance of interfaith people. Now, those are the ones we learned. Now we have about, as I said, 250 some odd interfaith groups around the world that can all connect to one another. So if you, Doris, if you're flying to Paris and before you get there, you want to connect to their interfaith group, you can do that. They'll meet you at the airport and they'll take you around. Same thing with Pune, India, with, I mean, pretty much Scotland, throughout Canada, Mexico, everywhere. And that's, you can get all of that with World Interfaith Network, which this is what formed outside of the Poway Interfaith team.
It's a striking fact. It's an amazing fact. It's a hopeful fact. And I'm glad to see that we're all here together today. God bless you all.
Thank you for being here. A few more, and before we get to our food.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yusef Miller. Assalamu alaikum. I'm with the Islamic Society of North County and the Tri-City Islamic Center, and also representing the Islamic Center of San Diego. And I want to speak love and blessings to everyone here to make sure that we stay connected and stay unified in the love and the traditions that we have in common versus what we have in separation. And that's what this interfaith is all about. Not contention and not strife and strain. There are proper forms for all of those things. But from here, we want to reach out virtually to hug everyone, love everyone. And with that in mind, I want to say peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Yusef. I have to brag on Yusef. I hope he doesn't mind. Yusef is the type of person who has his fingers everywhere. If there is an event going on somewhere within 30 or 40 miles that is for the good of anybody, Yusef is there. He's taking pictures, he's voicing his opinions, he's an incredible person. Thank you, Yusef, for being you. I'll tell you what, Abigail, did you want to touch base with everyone?
Yes, hi. Oh, I have just been loving this conversation with everybody around the States and how wonderful it is that we can actually connect in this way. Like she said earlier, or Sherry, I think, said that, you know, if we know of a interfaith activity going on across the country, we can hop on board. So what a wonderful way to meet new people. And today, before, you know, we close, I really want to thank all the people that made this whole week happen. I mean, without people saying, yes, I want to do something, I want to promote interfaith, I want to promote consciousness, I want to really be a part of something bigger than myself. And so I want to thank the Poway Interfaith team first for being the ones to host it. And we started at the very beginning. We had our opening. And thank you, Sherry, for all the all the work that you've done to put that YouTube together and our opening program. And we had just, and Yusef made a parachute available, a drone. He had a friend that took pictures, and we tossed the ball. And Moran Irfani was, thank you for doing the other part of the ball toss. It was just great. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go on to our Facebook and you can see the live opening. And it was really fun. We had a wonderful time. And then on Monday, I want to thank Sherry again for Interfaith Worker Justice San Diego. She had a wonderful speaker, Dr. Ken Brooker Langston, and we all learned so much from him. And Beloved San Diego did Compassionate Action in Turbulent Times with 3 speakers, one a Jewish speaker, Christian, and a Buddhist. And so that was a fabulous program. And on Tuesday, Pax Christi San Diego showed a wonderful documentary. Well, it was wonderful, but it was heartbreaking. And I think it's a movie everyone should see. Go find it. I know you can find it on YouTube. It's called Suppress the Fight to Vote. And this is what happened. True story about what happened to our Black brothers and sisters, people of color in Georgia that were denied the right to vote, and the ways that they got around not allowing them to vote. And we really need to step up and really take notice of that and do something about it, especially however we can in our own counties, cities, states, and this country. On Wednesday, we had a wonderful program from San Diego Ministerial Association and Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. They hosted this wonderful group of interfaith youth, young adults, that talked about racial justice from a youth lens. And I tell you, these youth are fabulous. And I like one of the things they said is that, you know, we don't want you to just say, we're going to leave everything to you. We want you to step up as older adults and do what you can right now. So in combination and cooperation, youth and the elders can come together and change whatever needs to be changed in our country. Thursday, we had a wonderful mandala meditation with Barbara Rice. Coloring our own mandalas and sharing them and saying scripture verses. That was lovely. Thank you, Barbara. And on Friday, we had a wonderful prayer vigil, interfaith prayer vigil, hosted by the NAACP, and it was amazing. It was about 2.5 hours, and the time flew so quickly. They had all kinds of speakers and prayer givers from different faith traditions, as well as one of the assembly members from California. And then we had Saturday, we had the Pacific Beach Interfaith Coalition. We did a wonderful job healing and hope in the midst of suffering, and different speakers there from different faith traditions. We went into breakout sessions, so we're very grateful for that. We each had a chance to share in the breakout session answers to several questions that they had posed to us. And then today, I want to thank Steve, being director of World Interfaith Network, for putting this on and connecting people, not just in California, but all over the states and world. And thank you to all who hosted and became a part, and all those who participated by showing up to the different events.
The next night, when I was
because if you don't show up, then the event doesn't really take place. So everybody is involved. Everyone was connected, and very, very grateful to all of you. Thank you so much.
I evacuated my bowels about 170 times.
I guess somebody's not muted, but anyway, this is going to be a time and one last event before we get to the food. I know everybody wants to eat, and don't worry, there's plenty of food for everyone.
Carrie, can you mute everybody?
I would like to give a shout out for my friend Paula Kofrasi Silverstein, who's here from Chicago.
Hi, Paula.
And Paula knows a lot about interfaith, right, Paula?
And Ruth, I forgot you, my dear friend. Thank you so much for bringing your beautiful song, and Cantor Lori for singing, and her group. Thank you for today. Really appreciate it.
So before we get to the food, we've got one more exercise, and I'd like anybody who feels ready to speak to join us by talking about interfaith being a rainbow for the world. And
women everywhere.
Carolyn, are you there? I know you're there, Carolyn. I saw you.
Yes, I am here.
Bottom left, could you, since you are a Baha'i, could you recite or so the bottom left from Baha'u'llah?
Okay. Ye are all fruits of one tree, the leaves of one branch, the flowers of one garden. Baha'u'llah.
Who would like to speak for Mother Teresa?
I'd be happy to. I actually used, well, the psalm I preached on today, and Mother Teresa is that we have no peace. It is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other.
So important. Do we have any Buddhists in the group? Anyone?
I'll say it.
Go ahead.
He who experiences the unity of life sees his own self in all beings. Buddha.
Yeah. Who would like to read the Swami Vivekananda message? Carol? You're muted, Carol.
Here we go. Which paragraph is it?
Whichever Carol answers, so it must be you.
I'm Carol Sochek King, but I can't. Which is the one you want me to read?
The second from the top on the left.
Oh, okay, I will. I'll just have to. Oh, I mean, thank you so much for the opportunity. Condemn none. If you can stretch out a helping hand, do so. If you cannot, fold your hands, bless your brothers, and let them go their own way.
Amen.
Thank you. I see it has Swami's name right there. It was very small before. I just made it larger, so now I can read it with ease. Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve, can I add a conceptual idea? My name is Martin.
Sure.
I just want to underscore the necessity for creativity and the recognition that every single spirit on the planet is in fact an artist and has been commanded from within or without or whoever your God is in some interfaithful manner to perform and to perform at a very high level. And I guess the evidence of that I saw, and I don't want to go into a long ramble, but I welcome the gentleman from Carmel, having visited there recently and discovered that Robinson Jeffers, one of our country's greatest poets, made the cover of Time magazine in 1937 at the ascent of a bad guy in Germany, is still taught in American universities, but he's not taught in poetry and literature. He's taught in environmentalism. And as an environmental planning architect, I serve, I guess, as the joke's on me, you know, as the metaphor for the only way we can measure success, whether we're arguing on one side or the other of two countries' allegiance and hatred or love for each other, is stamping out homelessness. And so I stand as a metaphor to, you know, just propose that we measure as interfaithful folk in unity. You know, we're kind of preaching to the converted here for ourselves, but we've got to go out into the world, all of us. And I'm grateful for, you know, Carol Sosek King to bring me, you know, together into a lifelong friendship with Ruth Sharone, because, you know, music and architecture are the true litmus test for a culture, notwithstanding the way that we treat our old people and our kindergartners. But I believe if we could stamp out homelessness and hunger in this generation, you can attribute that to interfaith, because that requires a faithfulness of all souls at their highest performing creative level. So I didn't mean to make a diatribe out of this, but you know, I love the rainbow as a metaphor, and I think we just have to have hard facts, and we have to hold the people that have the wampum to write the checks to stamp out hunger and homelessness, and then we'll know we're successful.
Thank you, Martin. Good. Since you're on, would you like to read the upper left psalm?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to, Stephen. Behold, is that the one you want? The psalm? Yes.
Please.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Can I read one other little thing that I discovered recently from Mr. Jeffers, if I can find it here? Yeah, I found it. This is a kind of a beautiful little one-sentence thing. It's quite short. It is only a little planet, but how beautiful it is. That's from Robinson Jeffers, How Beautiful It Is.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Bobby? Bobby, yeah. Would you like to read the Mahatma Gandhi?
Sure. Yes, I am. I am also a Muslim, a Christian, a Buddhist, and a Jew.
As simple as that. I don't want to cheat you. That was very short. Could you do Rumi also?
Oh. All religions, all this singing is one song. The differences are just illusion and vanity. The sun's light looks a little different on this wall than it does on that wall, and a lot different on this one, but it is still one light.
Love it. Robert, you've been sitting there. I know you like Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
You must have been reading my mind. I was going to jump at that one anyway. I'll try and use my best FDR voice, okay? How about that?
Yeah.
If civilization is to survive, we must cultivate the science of human relationships, the ability of all peoples, of all kinds, to live together in the same world at peace.
That's true. And who would like to end up with Martin Luther King?
I'll read that if no one else is volunteering.
Go ahead, Ruth.
We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Martin Luther King.
So true, so true. So as we come to the end of this event, I will bring the food out. And the one thing I ask, as I have in previous time, where did it go? Huh. Okay.
Did you eat it, Steve?
Somebody
He
stole the
misplaced
food.
the refreshments.
Who ate the cookie in the cookie jar?
It's a feast for the eyes.
Okay.
Here's the buffet.
Oh my God, he meant it.
Wow, I love it.
Now, I have been the
refreshment host.
I have brought food to every event we've had, but this is the first time I added all the chocolates on the bottom. Now, since the pandemic, I've started to gain some weight. So please eat all the chocolates.
Oh.